guys, welcome back to Missing Person Case Monday. So today we are talking about 21-year-old Keeshae Jacobs from the Richmond, Virginia area. She went missing on September 26th of 2016 and she has not been seen since. So let's get into Keeshae Jacobs' story. Miss Jacobs is listed as 21 years of age. She has brown eyes, brown hair, weighs about 100 pounds at that time. This is, mind you, this is 2016, so things could definitely have changed. She is a small, petite type of young lady, so as you guys see from her photo, and she is listed as 5'3". Keeshae has tattoos on her right hand, right foot, and right leg of a leaf, paws, and flowers. Keeshae lived with her mother and brother at the time of her disappearance, and as I was reading many articles about this young lady, you know, they appeared to be extremely close in a tight-knit family. Keeshae's mom was a dispatcher at the time of her disappearance. Did a lot of activities together, including skating, movies. They just really seemed like a really great family. You know, I pride myself on family, you being family oriented, so that's what this family appears to be. Before Keeshae disappeared, she was still living at her mother's house. On the night of September 26th of 2016, Keeshae told her mother that she would be staying at a friend's house. So of course, her being 21, her mother didn't really trip over it because at the end of the day, she was still grown, but her mother has stated that she would always notify her where she was going via text message or phone call. So on that night, she texted her mother, telling her mother that she was going to be staying at a friend's house. Keeshae was later dropped off at her friend's house in the 3100 block of East Broad Street, and this is located in Church Hill. So the next day, on September 27th, Keeshae's mother had not heard from her. She would normally notify her when she was home, and she did not hear anything from her. So at this time, she began to worry because this was uncharacteristic of Keeshae to not let her know, because they had that type of bond where they told each other everything and notified one another of their whereabouts. When Keeshae's mother returned home, Keeshae was not there. This is when she began to call her friends and went over her friend's house to see if Keeshae was there, but Keeshae was nowhere to be found. Around 2 a.m. on September 26th, Keeshae's mother had listed her as missing. Their search involved Keeshae's friends and her mother and family going door to door to see if anyone had last seen Keeshae. During this search, Keeshae's mother found out that one of her friends was last seen with her on the night of her disappearance. And this was something that the friend had previously denied. When they pressed the friend about the whereabouts of Keeshae, the friend told her that they dropped Keeshae off in Church Hill to meet someone. One specific friend had told Keeshae's mother that they dropped Keeshae off to a man's house, but they believed that Keeshae was meeting a female friend, but this was not the truth once they had gotten to the place where they dropped her off. The guy friend basically told Keeshae's mom that he had received a text from their other friend stating that Keeshae was going to meet a female friend, but the female friend denied, saying that she had sent that text message to the young guy. After Keeshae's mother talked to the guy friend, Keeshae's mother actually went to the individual's home of where they dropped Keeshae off. Did admit knowing Keeshae, but he stated that he ordered Keeshae a ride home. And this is when law enforcement searched his apartment, but there was no signs of Keeshae there. Law enforcement did do a search in the Church Hill area where Keeshae was last seen, but there was no signs of her. Then law enforcement began to look into her text messages, but her phone appeared to be off that night. Her bank account was untouched, her email, her social medias were all untouched. Everything was as left as it was. Her family and friends then raised $3,000 to help with the investigation, because as you guys know, this can get very costly. This can get very time consuming when individuals go missing. That's why it's so important that we share their stories, guys, and we talk about them. That's why I can't express that enough. There was numerous reports of sightings of seeing Keeshae, but Law enforcement did not believe she would run away from home because it was just the dynamics of her family environment and the type of individual that she was. But the sad part about this story is a lot of people were prank calling, you know, calling her mom. And it's just like, when you have a loved one who is missing, you know, you're on pin and needles because you're just waiting for that one tip to change the game. And then I can't even imagine someone calling me and saying, you know, oh, we know where Keeshae is, and whole time you're lying. Like, you're a sick individual if you do some mess like that. People don't realize when you give fake leads, this takes away time from the investigation. You know, time is everything when it comes down to missing person cases. After the first 48 hours, it's like, it's so hard to find these individuals who go missing. In 2017, another tragedy struck Keeshae's family. Keeshae's brother was fatally killed, 25 at the time, and he was gunned down outside of a motel. But the good thing is the guy who did shoot him was found guilty and was sentenced. Law enforcement do not believe this was an indication of anything to do with Keeshae. In 2018, an unidentified male tells that he knows where Keeshae is or what happened to her. Currently serving time in prison for another violent crime against another female. But there has no reports of law enforcement or investigators actually speaking to him at this time. Her case is still at a standstill because, of course, no new information has come about and there's not much law enforcement can go off of. But the beauty in this story is Keeshae's mother, it has never given up hope, and I think that's the most important part of it all. She also is an advocate for other missing children and people around the world. She went to school to get her associate's degree, and on Keeshae's disappearance date, they always keep her memory alive, you know. So hoping and praying someone has some information pertaining to her case. The theory is something that night had to go wrong, and I hope that law enforcement actually really looked into the man who Keeshae was meeting. And I know it's so cliche to say, you know, you don't want to tell your family who you're going to meet, but I think that maybe if she would have said that she was going to meet a young man, you know, or someone other than her friends, you know, maybe her mom would have had more information to go off of. It just doesn't, you know, it doesn't make sense. And I know that friends like to, you know, back their friends up. But in this situation, you know, you really have to just come clean and, you know, tell that person's parents or loved ones, you know, what they were up to in that moment. But yeah, I really do think that she was met with foul play that night. You know, I do hope that she is alive. You know, she has been missing since 2016. She would be what? She would be going on 25 this year. So I really do hope and pray. You know, her mother has never given up hope, and I think that's, you know, amazing, because when you do have loved ones who are missing, we cannot give up hope, and you should never give up hope, you know, whether the circumstances are bad or whatever it is, you know. But that is pretty much Keeshae Jacobs' story. She is still missing, guys. I'll link everything down below, Facebook group, and the different articles that I have. So sending love and light to Keeshae's family. I can't even imagine, you know, to lose your son and, you know, your daughter is missing. I just can't even imagine. Oh my goodness. I'm really sending love and light to her mom and family, you know. And I really hope that her mother gets some type of information, some type of justice in this, you know, some type of answers or clarity, you know, as to what happened to Keeshae that night. So guys, until the next missing person case Monday, I will see you. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share. And also, if you are new to the fam, don't forget to subscribe and send in any submissions that you have. Again, always open to any stories that you have. Maybe you have a loved one who is missing and I can touch on their story. So guys, I will see you.